Well, howdy, welcome back. We're drawing robots, or a robot, and these first few sketches that I did look too much like a big robotic angry version of Plankton from SpongeBob. So I knew I wanted to do a robot that had one big eyeball, basically, and I wanted to make his mouth look like kind of like a pseudo armor. So I finally found something that stuck, but these first couple are kind of funny. Anyhow, painting a robot is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, even before I picked up a tablet. And it started when my buddy John, or you know him as Brant Flakes here on YouTube, sent me a link to an illustrator named Sam Spratt. And I've put his link to his channel in the description below. I don't think he posts there very often, but what he does post is just super impressive work. This guy is a master at what he does. Oh man, so he has a video there where he painted a robot, and ever since I saw that, I wanted to try it out just to see if I could figure out how he does it, and just to learn. So I kind of took the same layout and same approach, where it's just a portrait of a robot and kind of the same process as far as I could tell for painting it. And it's basically you paint in grayscale, and you use a kind of a grungier cubic style brush, and then just paint down the solid colors to figure out the angles and planes of how the metal should be. So I went through and did all that, and then the next method is to go through and colorize it. And his method of colorizing is very cool. It looks like, as far as I can tell, he doesn't flat out tell you, so it's just kind of a lot of pausing and looking at his Photoshop setup and seeing, you know, how this is done. And it looks like he selects different color ranges. So what he does is, what I think he does is he goes to select color range, and then finds the midtones, the highlights, and the shadows, creates a layer above the grayscale artwork, and then paints color onto it, and then using blending modes colorizes the grayscale part. So it's a pretty cool method to apply color but not lose your overall shape, especially if you're someone like me who I can see highlights and shadows in grayscale, but when there's too much color, I can't figure it out. So it basically, things start to not look correct. I'm having a hard time explaining this, but it's really cool how it all works. Also, he's a master at lighting. It's hard to pay close attention to lighting, especially when what you're drawing has a light source. So in Rusty's case here, Rusty the robot, his eyeball is going to be a bright light, is what the final look like. And if you imagine kind of a light source like that, so think of almost like a headlight and how it's kind of recessed into my robot's head, or think of a headlight in a car. You know, the bulb is actually recessed in a few inches, in kind of past the bumper and everything, right? So you got to imagine when that light's turned on, it's throwing light onto the parts that are in front of it. So basically the ring around the light, and then any other object, like in my case the robot's mouth thing, would be in front of the light as well in a 3D space. So you got to paint all the highlights and shadows in the right places. Now this is very confusing and very, it can get very complicated when you've drawn too much stuff. So in my case, I did run into a few things where I had to go through and basically flip what I had. I had shadows in the wrong place, and they needed to be highlights. And I did it as best I can. There's still a lot of mistakes in here, but that's one big thing. If you can get that down, you can make almost anything look like it should be, like it's real. So lighting is a huge just part of painting that really, if you can get it right, it just makes a world of difference. So that's the next big thing I'm going to try to focus on is lighting, and basically taking whatever I'm drawing and really figure out how it's lighted, figure out how the shadows should be, and just do the best I can. So anyhow, check out Sam's channel for sure, and then come back and tell me what you think. For the responses from the last video though, thank you so much for everybody that sent in a message or comment for the question I asked, which was what type of stuff do you guys like to draw or paint, and then what methods do you use? So it was pretty eye-opening. A lot of you use tablets, which is pretty cool. So I got a kick out of that. And then a lot of traditional pen and ink, and then colorizing in Photoshop. And for those of you that sent me links to channels and stuff, I didn't get a chance to reply to everybody, but I checked out every channel that was sent over, and there's some really cool artwork you guys are up to. Everything from graffiti to cars to drawing plants and animals. It's some cool stuff. Gave me a lot of ideas of things to try, so thank you for that, and I appreciate any links you guys send. Like I said, I don't get a chance to respond to everybody, but I do check everything that comes through, and I get a kick out of it. So thanks again for all that, and definitely keep it up. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do for number 9. I keep rambling and babbling. I made these videos longer, and now I gotta fill them, and I can't think of what to fill them with. But back to Rusty. The other thing I wanted to tell you is I did take the same approach with brushes. So I just used 2 brushes, basically 2 main brushes, and that's all there was to it. So I hope you like it. There's a wallpaper below, well, in the description below. And yeah, number 9, send me ideas. I don't know yet. I'm still figuring it out. I want to do something with the same process though, of painting in grayscale and then trying to colorize it, because I'm trying to learn it. So again, thanks for sticking around, and I will see you guys at number 9, which who knows when that will be up, but I will try to make it sooner than later. Thanks again all, and I will talk to you later on.